All right, what's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the TMossBoss Show. And in today's episode, I wanted to talk on this clip that I seen featuring the artist Ari Lennox. I think that's how you pronounce her name. I don't know if this was like if she has a podcast and she said it on there, or she was being featured on a podcast and she said it on there. Regardless of the fact, she was talking about a TV show and two cast members of that TV show and was trying to, I guess, read too deep into their chemistry on the show. And I'm going to explain the show and I'm going to explain how their sense of humor worked. And it's funny because they did a reunion. I feel like that the actress that's involved, she had every chance and opportunity to say how she felt. And I guess, like, I haven't really seen too many of Tashina Arnold's other shows. Like, I have seen bits and pieces, like some episodes of The Neighborhood. I watched every episode of Everybody Hates Chris, so I guess, sorry, so I just lied to you guys. So I am familiar with her work, but not like if there's work that I missed out on and stuff. And I feel like there probably has, and it's the same business how it was on Martin and stuff. And that's why I'm like, I feel like in the entertainment industry, you have to have thick skin. But because I feel like I kind of just jumped the gun, like I ain't really explained to you guys. Like I just jumped to like the middle portion of this episode. Let's start all the way from the beginning. So Ari Lennox, she's on this podcast. I would assume she's talking about Martin Lawrence and Tashina Arnold's chemistry on the TV show Martin. If you guys don't know, Martin was this old '90s TV show where Martin, he was just trying to like make his way through life. Like that's pretty much what the show was, making his way through life, but it was a comedy show. So yeah, it starts off with him on a radio show. Then that show ends up getting bought out by like some country station guy, because like again, this is the '90s, so they're going based off of like radio shows and all that stuff. So anyways, but then there was a point in time where he was kind of jobless. Remember that jobless stuff, all right? But anyways, then he ends up landing a deal on a TV show, and then eventually, how the show ends, he ends up landing an even bigger deal in California, and then then I think his wife Gina, she ends up landing a good job in California too. So that's how the show ends. It ends with them two moving to California, and then the rest of their friends, Pam, Cole, Tommy, all staying in Detroit. But if you watch that show, they had their serious moments, but that is probably the most unserious show of all time. Like, if not of all time, like it's definitely one of the most unserious shows. But that was the one thing though, on that TV show was Martin and Tashina's chemistry on there between their two characters, Martin and Pam. And yeah, if you watch that TV show, like, and it's funny because I feel like people would listen to this my episode and they would be like, fam, I don't think I've ever detected a bone in Martin where he was because I'm like, fam, he made fun of just about everybody on that show. He made fun of his two best friends, Tommy and Cole. He made fun of his wife. He made fun of his wife's dad. He's made fun of Pam. I'm trying to think of who else has he made fun of on that TV show. He done made fun of just about everybody, you know. So it's one of those things where it's like, it really trips. I think he even made fun of Cole's mom. I feel like he's made fun of Tommy's dad, because it was when John Amos, he made a guest appearance on as Tommy's dad on there. And he's made fun of just about everybody that has stepped foot on that show. It was even Gina, his wife. It was a baby shower that was going on over at so that's what it was. I'm like, that's one of those episodes. If I should like do a like episodes where I talk on like episodes of TV shows and how like there's just some things they went to, because that's one thing for sure where I'm like, you're gonna have to hurry up and get here, because I'm like, if I'm not getting along with your friends, I don't want them at my house, and I don't want to be stuck here at my house with them. So yeah, there was an episode where Gina had invited some of her friends over for a baby shower, and there was this like one that was leading the pack of that friend group that was getting into it with Martin. Fam, he made fun of her. He made fun of everybody. I believe his boss on the TV show. What else? Yeah, I'm saying like he's made fun of everybody. So Pam wasn't just like, oh, she was the only one that he was picking on throughout that whole show. He made fun of everybody. But so anyways, Ari Lennox, she's reading too deep into the show. She's trying to make it seem like that Martin had I guess like was bullying her pretty much. But you have to remember that Pam had her moments too, where she made fun of Tommy, or not Tommy, but she made fun. I was like, got too many names. It's because I'm trying to like list out all the different things. But anyways, like I'm still stuck on Martin. But anyways, because yeah, he made fun of a lot of different people. He roasted everybody on that show. But Pam, her confrontations with Martin, like if we're still sticking within the TV show, or I don't know if we're gonna quote unquote read too deep. Like I feel like that there's nothing too deep to read into when it comes to Martin. But let's talk on some of the clapbacks that she did. I don't know how many times she made fun of his height. There was the one episode when Martin had lost his job and she was making fun of him over that. What else has she done? I feel like there could probably be an episode where she made fun of his mom, or at least cracked a joke on his mom. What are some other things has she done on there? Has tried to fight him numerous times on that show. I mean, there was one episode where she grabbed him by his shirt in his house. If we're gonna be like reading too deep into the show, fam, there was probably rare occasions where Martin went over to Pam's house and was making fun of her. Like there were some episodes where he did that. Pam was forever at Martin's house making fun of him. I mean, it got to the point where she cracked this joke about him being like the leprechaun from Honey, or no, wait a minute, what was that series? Lucky Charms. She called she made fun of him, called him the Lucky Charms leprechaun. Got to the point where everybody was laughing. You couldn't really see Gina, but you knew Gina was laughing. If Tommy and Cole was laughing and Martin was laughing, Gina was most likely laughing too. But my thing is this though, the point that I'm trying to make, Pam stood her ground on that TV show. Anytime when Martin or she, and that's the thing too. Pam started there was quite a few episodes where she started the roast battle. It's just that Martin somehow some way managed to finish them. What I'm trying to figure out is how did this become a clip in 2025 of, I guess, Martin being a bad or no, so she was trying to make it seem like that she adores Martin, she's a fan of him in the TV show and all that other stuff. But I'm like, okay, if that's the case, why are you talking about it as if it needs to be canceled? Like Martin needs to be canceled or something. See, that's the thing that I don't like, is that people will make it seem like that they're a fan of somebody, say something crazy about them, but then try to backtrack and make it seem like I'm a fan of this individual. You're either a fan or you're not. But it's just the trying to bring it up and trying to get him canceled. Because my thing is this. Let's say that was the case, right? Let's say that I didn't do this podcast episode. Let's say I was doing a podcast episode where I'm like, you know what? You are right. Martin attacked Pam one too many times on that show. Although he did attack a lot of people on that show. But he attacked her. He deserves to be canceled. Next thing you know, you got millions of people. This TV show done got pulled from the air. There's all these different things like I'm saying like it's like a horrible cancellation for Martin Lawrence, all because you didn't like that how he was talking about Pam. And that's the thing where it's like, if something, I guess, like some wrongdoings was going on, because they ended up working together again, both Martin and Tashina Arnold, because there was this movie that he did called Wild Hogs. That was a pretty good movie. John Travolta was in there. Who else was in there? What was that one dude from Goodfellas? Ray Liotta. He was in there. Hold on for a second. Let me look that movie up again. I'm for sure he was in there. Tim Allen, who else? William H. Macy, who else? John, Ginley. He was, Ray Liotta was 100% in this movie. They were gonna do a sequel, but they canceled it. That's crazy. That is some crazy stuff. There's like, was released, there's like, cause that's crazy. All right, well, anyways, where's Ray? Okay, yeah, Ray Liotta. I was about to say, I for sure remember he was like a main character in that movie. But anyways, they worked together. And what's crazy was that, so if you guys have never seen the TV show Martin, and you're trying to figure out like, okay, what was Martin and Pam's relationship in that show, they made it seem like that they were enemies, but they were friends. Like that, it was, because if you watch the very last episode of Martin, Pam did say that she was going to miss him, because that's how the episode ended off, was Martin was moving to California. So they did kind of have like a moment where, instead of getting into like one last roast battle, no, they had they kind of had like a moment where it was like you really got to see how they truly felt about each other and stuff, or at least how Pam truly felt about Martin. But my thing is this. And then on top of that, too, like with the Wild Hogs movie, they worked together. They were a married couple in that movie. But I believe like they still remained friends even after the show had ended and stuff. And I'm pretty sure, yeah, they still kept in contact, congratulated each other on anything that they had going on, whether it was comedy specials, TV shows, all that, movies and stuff. So yeah, it really trips me out. And then on top of that too, Pam was mad funny on that show. And I think I remember them talking about that. Like, she was so funny on that show that they were actually talking about having it where she had her own show. And honestly, I'm all for that. I'm all for Pam having her own show. But yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, just to, like, now that that's been pushed aside, like, my message to Ari Lennox: Martin is not a show that you read too deep into. It is a comedy TV show. All right. Now, I feel like that there are some things that he overall could have said that could have been very, very disrespectful. Fam, if I could, yeah, he's made fun of her hair. He's made fun of her breath. He's made fun of, what else has he made fun of? I feel like those are like the main things that he would make fun of. Oh yeah, he would like call her, like, I think he called her Yosemite Pam. Made it seem like that her apartment was a kennel and stuff. So I guess, like, yeah, in a way he would call her a dog and things, but not like in a disrespectful way how some people would imagine it. Because I feel like, yeah, people would be like, oh, that is disrespectful, calling somebody a dog. Fam, the thing is this. I would imagine that there was probably some conversations backstage where Martin was like, okay, how would you feel if I said this about you? Pam would either say yes or no, or Tashina Arnold would either say yes or no. But if it was, and the thing is this, I feel like that she had a strong enough she comes off as somebody that's like, she ain't gonna just allow anybody to walk all over her and stuff. Like, she's gonna if there's some frustrations that's boiling up within her, she's gonna talk about it and stuff. So that's why I'm like, yeah, she don't come off as somebody that's gonna hold her tongue, even if it is Martin Lawrence and stuff. So that's why I'm like, yeah, when it was, because what was crazy was, like, I wouldn't say she was a bigger star than Martin, but if it was in order of who like was the like most talented people throughout the show, I would have to say it was Martin and then Pam. Because Pam, I mean, like, yeah, she had her moments where she was causing those guys to laugh and break character. I mean, there was quite a few episodes where she was causing them to break character. So she was a star of the show. And that's why I'm all like, fam, if there was something wrong that was going on with that show, she would have came out and said something. So that's why I'm like, yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, look, if you got some stuff that's going on within you, you got to keep that with yourself. But it's like you're trying to project out on others and stuff, or and that's the thing where I'm like, if Martin Lawrence, if he sees that clip, that's something I wouldn't even feel bad over. Because I'm like, ma'am, you need to understand the meaning of a joke. The same thing that Pam was, or Tashina Arnold, that like, it's like, you call somebody by their character name for so long. And I'm like, I don't know how many times I ain't been out in public and then said, or even been talking about, like, I'll have my moments where I will be calling her by her actual name, but then there's talking so fast, not thinking, and then you call her by her character name and stuff. But regardless, Tashina Arnold or Pam, regardless of the fact, it's one of those things where it's like she was cracking her jokes too. So that's why I'm like, yeah, I'm like, my thing is this: if it came down between, like, let's say both situations, right? Pam got nappy hair and Martin just lost his job. I think I would rather have somebody make fun of me having nappy hair than somebody making fun of me losing a job. Cause I'm saying like Pam, she was again, she was standing her ground when Martin would say, cause yeah, I felt like there were some episodes where Martin, he would say some things, and then Pam, she'll like pretty much like finished off the roast, and yeah, then there was, oh, okay, before I end this episode, there is one episode, I'm trying to think what episode was that, but there was an episode where it was both Martin and Gina and Tommy and Pam. They were having a roast battle. I don't know how many times, because yeah, she was, and then yeah, on top of that too, Pam was roasting her best friend. I don't know how many times she cracked head jokes on Gina and stuff, and so that's, I'm like, yeah, it's one of those things where it's, you know, if you were an actual fan of that show, you wasn't looking at it like, oh, Martin is being disrespectful and stuff. Yeah, that's, I'm like, that show is going to stay on for another 30 years, and people ain't going to be paying attention to what Martin was saying to Pam and in no disrespectful way. I'm like, look, people, y'all gotta stop doing that. Like, oh, let's just find a random person to cancel or make them feel bad about some stuff. And it's like, it is not that serious, all right? So, anyways, with that being said, I will talk to y'all later. Thank you guys for watching and or listening. Stay tuned for the next episode. Like, subscribe, viewing this on YouTube. Follow or subscribe, viewing this on the podcast streaming service. And peace.